L'chaim, to life. Michael, the Messiah should come very soon. And all the hospitals should close down. Shouldn't be needed anymore. In the meantime, to life, to life, to life.
Shalom uvracha from Yerushalayim. Shalom uvracha. Just a few words on Parshat Vayishlach. There's one part of the story, one part of the narration in this week's section, which fascinates me. For its messages and implications, I believe, if we study them correctly, can have a direct effect on our daily activities. Perhaps everyone knows that in the Torah section of this week, there's a description of Yaakov remaining alone and then being attacked by some man who wrestles with him. According to tradition, it's some kind of angelic force. Vayivater Yaakov levado. Vayeyavek ish imo ad alot hashachar. Yaakov, Jacob was left alone, levado. And a man wrestled with him until the crack of dawn. The attack against Yaakov. You remember what happened as a result of that? What's the result?
Esau kissed him.
What? Well, what's the direct result of the attack? What happens to Yaakov? When he lives, right? The attack against Yaakov causes our father a temporary disability. The attacker attacks some part near the thigh, near the hip, the socket of the hip, damaging the sciatic nerve and causing our father to limp. Al Kain, it says in the Torah, in this week's Parsha, Al Kain lo yochlu b'nei Yisrael et gid hanasheh. Therefore, the Jewish people, b'nei Yisrael, or perhaps it means not the Jewish people. Maybe B'nai Yisrael means, literally, B'nai Yisrael. Yes? What does B'nai Yisrael mean?
Children of Israel.
The children of?
Israel.
Yaakov. Yaakov, right? Akein lo yochlu B'nai Yisrael. It could be Akein lo yochlu B'nai Yisrael, therefore the Jewish people. Or perhaps it means the children of Yaakov, the children of Yisrael, are prohibited to eat the sciatic nerve of the animal. Akein lo yochlu B'nai Yisrael et gid hanasheh. What does this mean? Why don't they eat the gid hanasheh? According to the Baalei HaTosafot, according to the Torah, according to other commentaries, this prohibition, which is the basis of many of the laws of koshering the hind quarter of an animal. Are you familiar with the practice called nikur? Nikur means the process of removing the prohibited nerves. The gid hanasheh and the nerves around it, it's called nikur. In certain parts of the world, it's so expensive to do this, or we can't do it properly, they sell the whole hind quarter as non-kosher. They're experts at nikur. So this technical law of kashrut is understood on some level to be a rectification for the fact that the children of Yisrael, the children of Yaakov, left their father alone. In other words, it's not merely a commemoration of an attack against Jacob, but it's some way of saying, maybe we did something wrong, and forever we have to remember the Gid Hanasheh story. In the language of Tosafot, derech knas, lefi shehenichu et avihem yechidi. There was some kind of reminder, some kind of punishment, some kind of attitude that God wanted to instill in the Jewish people forever. You know why this happened to your father? It's only when Vayivater Yaakov Levado. How come Jacob was alone? He has a whole family. Where was his family? You leave Abba alone? You're allowed to leave Abba alone? Well, you know what happens when you leave Abba alone? Vayeyavek Yishimo. You're opening up Abba to attack. It's only when Vayivater Yaakov Levado that he could possibly be attacked. According to this, the inner message of Gid Hanasheh becomes the following. Don't leave people alone. You cannot leave people alone. Don't let people stay alone. We have no idea how many people suffer in this world. How many people are in deep pain because they're alone. Because people forsake them. Because people don't care about them. Because people don't think about them. Because people are not connected to them. In a certain sense, you're violating the message of Gid Hanasheh. You're going against the principle, according to at least Tosafot, you're going against the principle of the laws of kashrut in our section. I want to tell a story that someone told me yesterday, and it's only divine providence. The person that told me the story had no idea what I'm speaking about this evening. And there's a certain person, maybe he's viewing this video, and maybe he'll accept this as a personal invitation wherever he may be. He used to come to the house, and whatever, he lives alone. May he be blessed wherever he is. And someone met him, and he was explaining certain reasons why he stopped coming. Quote, Henny's here, she told me the story also, Henny. It's really true. So this person said to them, so what do you do when you don't go to their home? What do you do on Friday nights? And he said, I die a little bit more each week. I die a little bit more each week. I'm not fabricating a story. This is something that was told to me yesterday. Vayivater Yaakov Levado. There are people, you leave them alone on Friday nights. You leave them alone on Shabbatot. It's horrific. If you neglect the loneliness of people and leave them in a state of levado, maybe you're eating kosher on an external level because you make sure that your animal, the meat that you buy is very kosher, and surely it doesn't have any kind of sciatic nerve attached to it. Surely it has no Gid Hanasheh. It doesn't have the prohibited nerve, biblically prohibited, and the rabbinic prohibitions added to it. But on the internal level of the teaching, are you following the spirit? Are you following the spirit of this law? When you buy kosher and you're only concerned with yourself, are you really following the law? Maybe every time you purchase an animal and you see to it that Gid Hanasheh was observed properly, maybe you have to ask yourself, is there anyone out there who I left alone? Are we seeing to it that everyone should be protected against being attacked? And there are different kinds of attacks. There are people who are attacked by external enemies. And then there are some people, when they're alone, they're attacked, inside. They fall apart. And maybe they're suffering from internal forms of attacks because they're alone. When we say Kiddush on Friday night, we try to invite everyone who, I hope they can hear our invitation. They don't always hear it. But at least spiritually we announce, have someone in mind. Or perhaps reach out to someone by tomorrow, by next week. Everyone should be involved. There can't be someone alone. If someone chooses to be alone, that's their business. And we respect that. But someone who doesn't want to be alone should be alone on a Shabbat. That's for Shalom. Tosafot is right. Al Kain lo yochluk. There's a quotation from Tosafot. Al Kain, I have the book here. This is the book. He quotes all the different quotations of Tosafot. It's a very important book. Tosafot HaShalom. It's a compilation of all the commentaries of Tosafot on the Torah. He says here like this: Al Kain lo yochlu b'nei Yisrael, says Tosafot. She'asu b'nei Yisrael shelo kahogan. They acted improperly. Shehinichuhu lalechet yechidi. They let their father go alone. V'lo asulo levaya, and they didn't escort him. You don't escort your father. Just wherever you're going, goodbye. V'huzak al yadam begin hanasheh, and therefore he was attacked, and he had this problem of the sciatica. L'chach asar alehem hakadosh baruch hu gid hanasheh. That's the reason for this prohibition. Kidei shiyu zehirim b'mitzvat levaya misham ve'elach, so that they will always escort people. They'll always be with people. Hashem said, you didn't escort your Abba? You didn't go together with your Abba? So now you'll have this law to remind you to always be with people.